Everyone, welcome. And I'm going to give a quick primer on GitHub Copilot. As you can see, I've already searched for the GitHub Copilot student pack. And now we can see that there's a whole suite of tools for GitHub education, which is meant for students. And here you can see that GitHub Copilot is available for free to verified students, teachers, and open source maintainers. So now let's open up our coding editor, VS Code. You can see here that I have created an empty directory just to illustrate the functionality. Now the first step to install GitHub Copilot, you would go and search for Copilot itself. You will see that GitHub Copilot is the first result of it. Just click on install to install the extension. And you will see that it asks for sign in, which means it connects to your GitHub account. So you can click on sign in to GitHub, allow. You can see that I have to, in my case, I've already stored the credentials in my browser. So I'm going to sign in. As students, you will mostly have to enable two-factor authentication. So once that is done, it will ask you to go back to VS Code, in which you allow it to open, and that's it. This small icon of a spaceman or a man with goggles says that GitHub Copilot is ready. Now let's design like a simple Firebase authentication. So as you can see, there's already a prompt here to press Ctrl I to ask GitHub Copilot to do something, and if you start typing, it gets dismissed. Let's follow it for now. I believe this is the Copilot chat interface. Here, let's say implement user sign in using Firebase auth. So it has already given me some code. What happens if I rerun it? Still gives me something similar. Let me accept it for now, and you already have code to perform Firebase sign-in. Let's explore another capability, which is how it fills in code in context. So let's say I begin typing. It already starts auto-completing. If you hover over it, you can see that there are multiple suggestions, and you can either accept them word by word by pressing Ctrl right arrow, or you can press tab to accept the entire thing, or you can even press shift tab. You can press Ctrl Z to undo your accepting in case you accepted an entire thing by mistake. But you can press tab to accept the full suggestion. Let's continue. Function user Google Firebase auth and perform error handling. Let's say this is a requirement. Let's see where it goes. And I start writing async. There's already a suggestion. But wait, here not only do we see multiple suggestions, but there's another capability. You also have something called the completion panel, which lists like the top 10 likely code completions. Here you can open it up with the 3 dots menu here, or alternatively, once an initial suggestion comes up, you can press Ctrl Enter to open up the completions manual. Now, what is the use of this? It lists the top 10 possible suggestions for you to complete your code. And most of it may seem similar in this case, but in the case of larger functions or larger capabilities, it may be significantly different. So let's say like suggestion 3 here, I can just accept suggestion 3, and here the code does not seem to end, so it keeps going. I can still keep tab completing code. If you notice slightly, let me just go back again. There will be a slight refreshing here indicating that the model is still running. So Copilot is a model that runs in the background. Let me go through other completions. Instead of this, say I just wanted a different completion. These two aren't too different, except that one is logging it and one is returning the error. Most of them do have the same model. Looks like there is already a built-in function to sign in with email and password in this case, but this looks more concise, so let me accept this. So you can see here it does make some mistakes, like putting up an incorrect bracket, but that should be well highlighted by your VS Code editor by itself. So the correct bracketing as indicated by the color is right here. And that's it. We have the basics of GitHub Copilot all ready to go. And in fact, you can even invoke something called Copilot Chat. I guess it shows up as an extension right here. So you can say explain, or you can just say explain this function. It asks you which function. It already has context of which file you're on. So yeah, I want an explanation for the sign-in function. And you can see that there is a very clear explanation provided by Copilot Chat for what the function is doing. Well, in this case, it's a pretty simple function. So, but still you can see how detailed the explanation is with custom handling. In fact, I can even go back, press Ctrl+Shift+I and say, modify this. Let's say we need it in TypeScript and not JavaScript. And now you see that this is TypeScript compatible code instead of JavaScript compatible code. And these are just some of the capabilities of GitHub Copilot, and I hope you will learn more with using it. Thank you for watching this primer.